A no engine number 308, standard bore red motor 308. It's got aluminium heads and a stripmaster manifold. Makes about 420 horsepower, 400 foot-pounds. So Targa is all about accelerating and braking, so that's what it does really, really well. It's got a twin plate clutch in it, with the clutch and the flywheel and everything weighs 7 kilos. So when you rev it up, it's like a sprint car. You stand on the throttle and it just accelerates.
Just like a bunch of carpet for you.
Oh,
At least I did this.
no worries. How you going, all right?
Where can I take pictures?
Yeah. Just watch the chains, guys. On the ground. You just trip over. And then he's now saying, he said, you're the first guy that's come back. So they built this, took them 12 months. It's designed from scratch. So it actually, we scanned that red car down there to give us the body shell and the configuration. So the firewall, the wheelbase and everything's all the same as the factory car, because the factory panels, although they're fiberglass, are going to fit on here. But everything else, as you can see, is different. So it's actually made out of mostly what's called aluminium honeycomb. You can see that here. And honeycomb is 10 times stronger than steel sheet for the same weight. And it's also got really good noise, vibration qualities, it's fire resistant. There's a whole bunch of things and it's super strong. And you can see here that that's double skin, and what they do is they glue it together. And you'll notice here there's rivets. So the rivets don't actually join the panel, they're just locators. So think of your old Meccano set when you're young. The thing, they glue the panel and they put the rivets in there to locate it, and they leave it 24 hours and it'll never ever come apart. You try and tear that joint and it'll tear the metal before it tears the joint. So radiator support, all in here, some firewall, all the floor, all the back of the car is all honeycomb. You can also see in here there's some steel. Because this hadn't been done before, we wanted to make sure that it was going to be strong enough and pass the torsion test, so we put some steel in there. But you can see where the steel is all tied together. Everything ties back, and we'll have a look under the car shortly, and you see everything's tied together. So when you race the factory car, the cast iron engine and all the suspension makes the thing flop around. This will never flop around. So that's some of that racing thinking. And because I bought all the parts and we had them scanned, as part of their possum poo, as part of their remit to build the car, they had to incorporate all of the components. So you can see a bunch of brackets everywhere. So when I build the car, I don't have to drill any holes or fabricate any brackets, it just bolts together. So when I got the car back here, it was basically together, had the engine, gearbox and diff in, all the suspension in, the seats in, the body on. We pulled it back to how you see it now in 6 hours, 2 guys, and they've never seen the car before. So it's made to be worked on and pulled apart. This is chrome moly, and one of my requirements when we built the car is, well, let's not just look after the Torana guys, let's see if we can do something for the Ford and the Chrysler guys. All this is modular. So we can, for a Ford Coupe for instance, we can lengthen and widen the car through the centre, change the shape of this, and put Ford panels on it, and a Coyote engine, and we've got a Ford Coupe. And similarly with the Charger. So it's got a life. We've spent a lot of money to get this far, but the car's got a long life because we can do different models. So that's the chassis. We'll have a look under here in a minute. Over here, a rod shop front end. You can buy the whole front suspension setup, which is what I originally did. That K-frame weighs a tonne. It's made out of folded 5mm plate, and it weighs an absolute tonne. It's over-engineered the buggery. So we've made this. Just grab the other end of this.
Yeah, that's quite light, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's a lot lighter than it looks.
Yeah, it's actually steel. It's got provision for hydraulic engine mounts rather than the nylon one, so you get rid of the vibration. It's got the steering rack incorporated in there, and you can see there's a lot of cross bracing and fill in, so she's nice and strong. That's actually the rear subframe. So we've gone with an independent rear suspension, which I'll show you shortly. And so that bolts to the chassis, and we'll have a look underneath and you'll see all the triangulation that supports this, and then you've got a 5-link IRS and the diff and everything hanging off of this. Grab the end of that.
Oh,
I mean,
hold this, come hold this.
it weighs nothing. That's the whole side of the car. So that was done, these are done in Queensland, so that's made in Queensland, this is made in Queensland. Got the whole car here. There's some work to do to fit all this, because obviously you see, got to attach the roof and the inside of the hatch and everything. It's all going to be fitted together. We've got the aid of some guys who, some of you have seen the video. They're panel artisans and they're going to put this together and do a really nice job. But just to see some of the detail here, that's the inner guard. Obviously we've got the, well, this is different to a normal factory car where you've got a unibody, as they call it in America, where the body and the chassis are all one. This has got a separate chassis that does all the work, and the body's just dressing, but it's fiberglass. Now what I learnt with doing Targa is that the stones flick up and you get nice star under the guards and everything, so we wanted a nice inner guard. That's laser cut, it's nice and light, it's flexible, it's going to be nice and strong, and that just clips in and will protect all the panel work. So over here I've got a fuel tank. That sits up under the car, it bolts and straps in, but what we tried to do in the original hatchback, there's a lot, well originally it's chipboard, which is not really ideal, and then the spare tyre is kind of an afterthought, so we've got provision in there for, for a spare tyre, got in-tank pump, and we've got the battery in there as well. And on the front, 2.5 40/18 fits under the guard, no clearance issues, all done. And that's what you benefit from starting from scratch and not trying to replicate anything. Gearbox, I bought a second-hand one, it's going to go in the prototype. The gearbox is strong, so no issue. Just one point about the engine, I had a really interesting conversation with GM that didn't start off that well around you've got to be an officially licensed product, because Holden or Torana, they're comfortable, and I've got official endorsement from GM to proceed, which is fantastic. But during those conversations, they said we're going to stop producing this engine soon, and we're not going to give any notice, it's just not going to be available, and we're going to push everyone to the LT. So the LT 495 horsepower, I think, but completely different packaging. Like none of the aftermarket sumps or engine mounts or anything fits. And because it's not a volume engine in Australia, I think there's only Tough Mounts who have actually done the conversion and can supply some parts. So that's some work to do, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Lots of shelf stuff, so no real magic there. Down the back, don't want to put a beam axle 9-inch in it, it weighs a tonne, it's a bit old technology. So that's an off-the-shelf product there, that rear end setup, the coilover shock. The diff is also an off-the-shelf product. So that's a Strange 9-inch with 35 spline axles. These go in the side, they're little stub axles. Now, I'm not joking this time, that's a 1,000 horsepower axle. Wow. So this is a replacement for your modified LSA, that's bulletproof. Yep. So, if you want to go and do a skid, you haven't got the banjo to worry about, you go on a tow truck, that's never going to break. Here, you can see some of the triangulation in there, in here, all of this, and you can see the rivets in the floor, where it just clips together. The trans tunnel's all honeycomb, this is all honeycomb. So a fair bit of technology has gone into it. We'll go up in the air, the hoist is a little fast, but lift it. So you can see all the triangulation in the rear of the car here, where the mounts for the suspension, that's all CNC obviously. The subframe goes in here, fuel tank bolts up underneath. Front dismount here ended up being steel. Got tail shaft loop, exhaust goes through there, and we've got all hangers to make sure that's all done, all your fuel lines and everything run up here. But down the front of the car, you can see how this all ties together. There's a lot of work in here. All that tube work all ties together. I wouldn't think to have any problems there. So this went through torsion testing recently. Longitudinally, it basically had no deflection at all. And they do a cross torsion test. That achieved the requirement by 50%. And as tested, engine, gearbox, diff, body, seats, wheels, suspension on, 966 kilos.
Oh, I was going to ask you that. Oh my God.
So, I had a conversation with the engineer.
960.
The first one's going to be an ICV, which has got a 200 kilo system. I said I can simulate an airbag, but no, they want to fire it into a concrete wall.
I assume it won't qualify for a historic rego because it ain't 30 years old.
No, that's right. So
Yeah.
the plate will be 2025.
Yeah.
So that was part of the discussion with GM, is I want to separate away from the 1977 technology, because I mean you can see it's not. I mean there's only a handful of parts that are actually GM. It's the outer door handle, the tail lights, and the headlights around. That's about it. Everything else is something else.
Yeah.
Or Holden Torana.
Are you going to name it?
Well, that's my company, Drive South. My last name's South, and you put South into Google and it doesn't do anything, so you've got to add something to it. So that's where we're at. Whether it gets an additional name, I don't know. One, you've got to buy a car too. I need the funds to keep going. But I would think car one day will be quite valuable. My plan is to build 100 cars a year. Whether we get there or not, who knows? I mean, that'll be based on the customer. You know, customers come and pay money. But I reckon it's going to take 5 million to finish. So I'm supposed to be an expert.
Tom will buy the first 4 as well.
Pardon?
Tom will buy the first 4,
Yeah.
then he gets number 5.
Yeah. Pulse to the, exhaust gas temperature, O2 sensor readings, whatever you want. It's got 50 templates, so we'll design up a nice template, make it look good. It's got an analog input, so you're not having a separate function for your indicators and fuel sender and your high beam. It all can go in here. And nice compact unit. So I've tried to use Australian suppliers where I can. So I've had plenty of opportunity to go overseas and get parts, but I've chosen not to.